Alright, hi. It's still fucking hot. I mowed my front lawn and I got halfway through and I couldn't do it anymore because the battery died because I used up all the juice in it. Because my grass is so fucking thick from all the rain and the fucking heat that I literally had to, like, do this with the lawnmower, and my lawnmower was like humping the grass. Anyway, that's not what actually my lawn mowing story is a lot more interesting. That I saw the Snow White live action movie, and it's funny because I didn't even talk about the Little Mermaid live action, did I? I think I might have mentioned it in like the best of worst of thing. Why would it be part of the best of? Anyway, yeah, so I watched the live action Snow White movie because like, you had all those, like, divorced dads being like, yeah, we made that movie fail at the box office. It's like, alright, like, okay, I guess it wasn't your weekend with the kids, and even if it was, I guess you didn't take them to go see. Okay, and then, like, it's like all this shit, and I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ. And so, whenever people tell me a movie is bad, I gotta see how fucking bad it is, And well, yeah, it's not good. It's not good. It's not. Because it's like, so we all know the Disney Snow White story. We all know how it goes. So, obviously going into spoilers, this movie came out, what, like March or something? Who cares? Anyway, when it's a bad movie, it just goes into spoilers. So, we all know how, like, the Disney animated Snow White, I keep wanting to say a completely different fucking movie. Anyway, the Snow White goes, the whole, like, fairest of them all, we're gonna send you out in the woods, here's the dwarves, all that shit. Would you like an apple? Oh god, I fainted, oh, prince kiss. Not rape, not what they did back in the day in the OG story. Anyway, and then it was like, oh, I woke up, my Prince Charming, la 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 la, that kind of stuff. So, in this one, it was like, oh, the evil queen, it just, like, knew her dad kind of stuff. And then it was just like, you're gonna, I love that she, like, I love that the evil queen would go up to the mirror periodically, but in a very, like vapid high school girl way of just being like, oh, I'm upset about something, okay. It's like, I'll go live on TikTok or something and be like, oh my god, guys, mama, and then it's like heart emojis and all that whatever stuff that I don't know what the fuck happens. I'm an old fuck. I only got TikTok like after this past New York Comic Con because it was just like, oh my god, everyone's filming content, I'm like, there in like a handmade anyway, I'm not even, I can't stop like not talk about, like, I keep like not talking about the movie. Anyway, so she goes up to the mirror and she's just kind of like, so, like, am I like hot? Am I like the hottest bitch and like in this kingdom? And then the mirror is like, the mirror's like, foggy, all this stuff is like, bitch, you ain't that good. And it was like, you asked for fairest, bitch, you ain't it. Snow White is that bitch, and the evil queen is like, what? I am not the fairest? And it's like, girl, how are you the fairest? You just tied like a dude to like an iron gate because he was like taking some apples. You know what I mean? Like, the dude was like, I'm hungry. I'm just gonna sneak in here and grab some apples. You're not gonna miss it. You know what I mean? And you're like, let's tie him to the gate. Yeah, he'll be over there. And then she's like, how am I not the fairest of them all? Jesus. I had everyone sing Imagine during lockdown. What do you mean? What do you mean? I brought everyone together during lockdown. I had all the most annoying celebrities sing Imagine. Had freaking Sia going, all that stuff, because we don't really have Christina Aguilera doing that nowadays, so, we gotta replace someone. Anyway, so, oh yeah, and so then it's like, this version of Snow White in this movie, like, she's like the strong, independent bitch that needs no man, but apparently she needs 7 dwarves, just being an asshole. So, like, there's like the love interest, who's I guess like the prince in it. I love how it's like, so this supposed to be like whatever back in the day, no specific era, and we're just gonna, you know, whatever. But the dude is like, he's still like the cute boy who wears like the denim jacket with a hoodie underneath kind of look, you know what I'm saying? Because like whatever he was wearing, it was like that time period version of the denim jacket or denim vest with the hoodie underneath. It's just so funny because he's still like I'm the awkward, you know, high school boy, and like I just tussle my hair. Oh, you know, what the fuck? What did I watch last night? Anyway, so yeah, like, you know, like, she gets sent off to the woods, and the huntsman is like, alright, I'm gonna kill you. And she's just so like, look at these apples, look, I'm in the iconic dress. Isn't it kind of atrocious, live action? Did you think they should have dimmed down the colors? Because, my god, it's just so much primary color. There's the blue and the yellow and the fucking red and her Lord Farquaad hair. You know, maybe they would have just like simmered it down, Beavis, just a little with the colors. You know what I mean? But they're like, we gotta keep it true in some way or another. Like, fine. God damn, I'm at like 19% battery. Why? Why do I never check these things when I hit like record anyway? So, whatchamacallit? Yeah, so then the huntsman's like, I can't do it. You know, we knew, you know. And it's funny because, like, in the animated one, he put, like, a pig heart in there. But this one, like, he put an apple. Like, it always comes back to the apple because current days in filmmaking, everyone's a fucking moron. And we need to, like, point at the thing 30,000 times all the time. And it's like, love interest boy, who's not really love interest, but he turns out to be love interest boy. He stole apples, and then we put apples in the box because then, you know, evil queen gets all extra evilly and old, and she's like, would you like an apple? Because apple! You know? Like, God, fucking hell, man. And so, she's just like, oh, whimsical. She goes in, like, a random cabin because, you know, it's funny because she, like, falls down, right? She, like, goes in the water, and she's, like, a whole mess, you know? And then, like, Bambi shows up, and I wish I was joking, but Bambi fucking shows up. But it's not Bambi, but it's Bambi, you know? And then, yeah, like, the animals are like, let's go this way. Let's go into this cabin, who, you know, she laid across, like, 3 of, like, the dwarves' beds. The dwarves show up. And mind you, by this time, you can, like, by osmosis, CGI was seeping into my pores. Like, how, like, microplastics are in everything, you know? The CGI was, like, coming through the screen and, like, going into, like, my skin, and I was also being turned into a CGI thing. Like, I am also microplastics, you know, all that stuff. And so, yeah, so, whatchamacallit, like, then the dwarves come, and then they're just so fucking CGI'd, you know, and their faces are just so weird. And then, like, this movie, like, hyper focus on Dopey a little too much, and then they also linger the camera on his creepy face for far too long. Weird cut there, because it just stopped recording. Here I am again. Anyway, so, where was I? Yeah, so they hyper focus on, like, Dopey's creepy face for far too long, and it was very obvious, as I said with the Ash review, that, you know, like, you knew it was it was very obvious that they were gonna have Dopey talk. Because they kept being like, he doesn't talk, or whatever accent they had. They're like, he just, you know, Dopey, you know, whatever reasoning, like, you know, whatever. And yes, Dopey does talk at the end. He just, like, suddenly is like, well, I think, okay, that's not the voice, but, you know, he suddenly was like, this is a magical, enchanting thing, and zippity-doo, and it's like, why are you talking? You know, it reminds me of, there's, like, an episode of Game Grumps where they're playing some Mario game, and then Danny reads the dialogue, and apparently it's Yoshi talking, and freaking Aaron's like, you talk? Or like, he talks? It's like, literally, that's what it felt like. Or like, he opened his mouth, I knew it was coming, but he still opened his mouth, and I'm like, why are you talking? You Dopey! You literally just, you know, just looking kind of thing. Like, what are you talking? Why? Like, why? What does that add? You know? And so, yeah, so she just, like, spends time with the dwarves, and of course, like, you know, the fucking, you know, evil queen is doing evil queen things. Also, like I don't recognize any of the songs from the animated movie. Mind you, it's been like a bajillion years since I watched the animated movie, so maybe I forgot. But I don't recall any of them as like, I think they're all original. They don't seem like the ones that from previous, because nothing was like, oh, that's all. You know? And so, whatchamacallit, like, thank God Rachel Ziegler can sing, and I mean, I knew that because I saw her in, like, West Side Story and all that stuff. Like, thank Christ she could sing. She also, like, wasn't bad in the movie. You know what I mean? Like, her acting was, like, you know, I mean, I've never seen her, like, bad acting, even when she was in, like, the second Shazam movie, and it was just kind of, like, because she was, like, the new It Girl, and they kind of just shoehorned her in kind of stuff. Like, again, like, she was giving it, but, like, again, she's surrounded by freaking probably a green screen and just, like, X's and tennis balls. So, like, she's just, like, doing her best to, like, act around these things, you know? Like, I'm totally, like, in this, like, log cabin, there's doors around my feet, you know, that kind of stuff. It's like, okay, you know, she's doing her best, but, like, no one else gave her anything, like, else. Like, whenever she would have, like, actual human interaction, you know, dialogue scenes, is like, okay, you can see that she's like, I'm acting towards someone. There's someone I'm speaking to instead of a fucking golf ball or whatever, you know? And then again, when she would sing, it'd be like, oh, it's like, okay, cool. Have the number, at least, you know, you got a great voice, you're good. The song isn't good, but, you know, like, what she did was good, and so at least, like, some time goes by. And freaking Gal Gadot singing is just, god damn, it's like, what's worse, her singing or acting? Both, you know? Because, like, acting is like, oh, magic mirror, who is the fairest of them all? And I'm like, oh my god. It reminds me of, like, that in Wonder Woman 2, when she was like, I need you, and she's like yelling through the window at Pedro Pascal. She's like, I need you to understand, you're in grave danger. And fucking Pedro Pascal, I don't think he's acting. He truly is like looking through that window like, like I'm acting opposite of this, which totally makes sense why he just like went full Nicolas Cage in that movie, because bitch, it's a paycheck, you know? Oh my god. And yeah, so she was just like, who is the fair? And every time she acted, it was very like, it's like she wasn't acting, you know what I mean? She was like she was just mimicking something. I don't know, this is what I'm getting from her, where she's like, oh, I'm acting. This is acting. Like, it's just, like, so weird. She's like, I am the queen. And it was just kind of like, it reminded me of, like, when you watch Drag Race, and they have an acting challenge, and there's a girl who's like, she's always got like the really good outfits, probably really tall and pretty, you know, but the acting part is kind of like, oh, so she's like, looks good, and like all that stuff, but then all of a sudden she's like, you know, like, we have to go there, you know, it's like season, whatever the one, Trixie and Katya, like that one where there were so many acting challenges, it's like that kind of like, level of like, oh my god, you know, where it's like, cool, this is just like a quick thing on RuPaul, but like, no, this is a Disney movie. And then her singing, she's just like yelling, you know, because like, I remember again when she did Imagine, she was just kind of, she just sat there and she's like, imagine all the people, and it's like, all right, fine, you don't really need to like try with that song. And then this one, she's like, it's a dance party! She's like yelling. She's not like singing. She's like singing. You know what I mean? Like, she's not like, we're gonna have a party. Da 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 da. She's like, we're having a party. Like, I'm like, why are you yelling? You know? But she's like, no. It's like, girl, like, put some extra fry to it and be like, rah, 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 rah. You know, we might as well just go full, like, like, just go deathcore. Might as well just be Disney deathcore. Then whatever the hell you're, I'm singing! This is singing in my Disney movie! Like, girl, what are you doing? Like, that's, like, that ain't it, you know? It was just so fucking ridiculous. Thank God, one, she's, like, not on camera a lot, and two, she had just like 2 songs too many, but she had like 2 songs, you know what I mean? And like, apparently it took like 5 hours for them to put that old lady makeup on her. First of all, that make them look CGI. So that like I feel like as an effects artist, if like whatever I put on someone and then it just looks like you just superimposed it on this, I would be mad. It's like what the fuck? I understand. A lot of times there are like the effect stuff, and in visual effects there's like little touches of whatever. If you want like a vein pulsing, that kind of stuff, right? Or like skin changing, fine. But like it just did. Yeah, there's just so many ones and zeros happening in that. Like this made like Endgame look like that was all like actual aliens existed. Thanos actually looked like some dude looked like that was on camera. You know what I mean? It didn't like it just like made a Marvel movie like look like less fucking on a goddamn blue screen. Like my god, man, it's just like singing, yeah, and then like she falls, oh my god, the apple, that kind of shit, and then still like all the woodland creatures and the dwarves were like and then the prince is like, what? I guess I'm part of this. I guess, and then he's like, mwah. And then she's like, whew, cool, thank god I didn't get assaulted, and then she's like, hey, it's you. And I love how they were trying to sell this movie as like, she don't need no man and da-da-da. I mean, granted, she kind of, in a sense, saved him because she, like, released him from being chained to a gate kind of stuff. But it was just so funny how they made it seem like he was going to be the one, like, passed out and she would have to kiss him. They probably should have done that, Maybe it would have been too far. People would have been like, they're so woke. It's woke. A man being, submissive. No, like it just... actually, they probably should have done that. Because if more people's head would have exploded, I think that would have been, like, really good. Oh, God, sorry. I just looked at my computer. I'm like, what am I seeing? But yeah, this was not good. I'm not expecting a lot of the live action ones to be good. Again, they hit it. They did well. I mean, not amazing. They did well with Maleficent, and then they were just trying to like keep, catching that lightning kind of stuff. Also, like, I don't know, man. Oh well, my camera died, so I'm done talking about it. Okay, bye.